just keep those to yourself.
Katie and Elizabeth are back, and this time the Spuds are really going to fly. Who's wild? And this time the Spuds are really going to fly. And Haley's world. Who's wild? And this time the Spuds are really going to fly. Who's world? And this time the Spuds are really going to fly.
Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios, weekly wing it number 73 here on Rumble and YouTube. And starting off with us first thing tonight is Raven Nevermore. Raven, how you been?
Hey, been great. I actually finished up a story encounter in Unster and got it posted to Minds this last week.
Sweet. And yeah, drop your Minds link in the private chat, and I'll drop that in the regular. Because I think I have. Do I have your link down in the description?
You did at one point.
Okay, I don't know if it's your Minds link, but I know I got a link for you down there. And another guy I know I got links for, Herman P. Hunter.
Yo,
Is this Herman Royce's White Claw source? You're the one who's been dealing him that stuff?
you betcha. Get him strung out on White Claw. Next thing you know, he's running around the barrio looking for some extra grape.
He might even take
Hide
out.
him
You might even get him to take off his damn boots.
Yes, get Royce to take off his shoes on stream while shouting, "Buy Herman's book." One guy I don't think is gonna try to make Royce take off his shoes is Readout. Readout, how you doing?
You know, I learned something this weekend, something I never thought was a fact. Apparently, the EU algorithm really, really, really likes tunnels.
Really?
Yes, it does. I'm surprised someone else figured that out. Yeah,
it has tunnel vision.
Yeah, it does. It does. You can go look at my my channel videos, and this weekend's Retracing History just lit off like a Roman candle in the best way possible. I'm not complaining. I'm just very, very perplexed. Tunnels. That's
Tunnels. Well, underground civilizations are kind of a big deal in my second book. Just thought I'd shamelessly throw that out there.
the last time I talked about tunnels on my channel, YouTube said I can't talk about women that way. No.
Frederick, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'll be adding tunnels to my comic, you can rest assured. And I'm back from the Canadian Bitcoin conference in Montreal, and I'm here in Quebec again, back at the drawing board, inking my first double-page spread, pages 2 and 3 of my upcoming Rattel comic. You can find out about it on imakecomics.com.
What a great URL.
Yeah.
And speaking of URL, Kahuna, how you feeling? I heard URL.
Sick as a dog, but I'm feeling better than I did this morning and yesterday. Yeah, no, I'm here, man. I'm all for it. Had a good old lore session talk with Bat Sauce and AC Pritchard earlier. We're kind of working out the kinks of a shared writing experience we're all kind of partaking in, because that's never gone badly in the past. But I'm curious about how it's going to go forward.
Good luck.
I know.
All right. And MD Boncher, whose link I'm dropping in the chat right now for Bandcamp. How you doing, MD?
I'm doing fairly well. I just actually dropped that song not 2 hours ago. It's one of my ambient pieces. It's a nice, long, mellow out, bliss out kind of thing. So lots of fun to listen to. I've actually had it just repeat in the background whenever I'm like doing editing.
Yeah, well, ambient stuff is like perfect for that too.
Yeah, it harkens back to my days when I had tons of Tangerine Dream albums.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking
I
of
love that
which,
stuff.
I'm going to throw a little chill kid on for background music.
Hell
Yep.
yeah, brother.
It's like my favorite song by him right now is it's "Do It Yourself" on his album Try Hard.
Oh, dude, that album it's such a step up from every other album he's done. It's amazing how it puts to shame the other albums he's done. It's so good, dude.
Yeah. And over in the chat, R.H. Snow says first. Christy Edcock says second.
Did you know R.H.
Nice.
Snow is famous?
I
You're
heard,
famous,
but she
Snow.
said you're more famous.
Yeah, no, she's far famouser than I am.
That's a word for sure,
That's
right?
famouser.
Famouser.
To use
Stop
technical
reading
terms.
my mind.
Hi, Christy. Nice to see you here. Oh. I need to get Starlink so I can do the streams when I'm down hanging out in the lake. That would be dope, dude.
Yeah, you're having notice you're having a little signal issue, but at least we got you. Let's see
I was
if we can
thinking
hang on to you tonight for a while.
I was thinking about you this weekend, Kahuna. There was this girl at the coffee shop, and she was like, moving away from Hawaii was the worst mistake of my life. I was like, oh,
Well, to
I know,
Canada,
I
I
know.
can understand.
yeah.
It was a double whammy for me. I was young. I didn't have a choice, and my mom ran me over 3 days before we were supposed to move. So,
Ow.
Oof. But I would think, I mean, I know in Hawaii the gas prices suck, but you probably can't get any decent maple syrup. I mean, my version of decent. I live in New England, so
yeah, no, you don't get decent maple syrup, but you get there's a lot of sweetness over
But
there.
you
That's not-
probably got some damn good clam chowder down there.
in Hawaii? No, dude.
No?
No.
Spam chowder.
No.
God,
Spam
no.
chowder.
Boncher, shush! Don't tell them the secret. No.
Y'all put spam in everything. I blame the military.
Dude, honestly, while I was down there, every day we stopped in the Peely Market, I would buy 2 to 4 spam musubi. I'd share it with the kids, with my family. Every single time we went into town and stopped there, I would get them because they were just so damn good. Just a little bit of rice, a little bit of a healthy protein. I don't want to hear any contrary opinions on that. And yeah, a little seaweed. Nothing wrong with that, man. It was a great time.
Ugh.
Great time.
I was in until you said seaweed. I was gonna yeah, I'll brave the itching.
Dude, seaweed is fantastic. It's a great addition, man. It's what they do with sushi. It's the
They
same-
make ice cream out of it.
I won't eat sushi either. So,
Well,
It's not
aren't you just a little heathen? Look at him.
darn
Yeah,
right.
I'm not a sushi guy either.
Me either.
If
Yeah,
it ain't cooked,
wait,
I'm not it. If it's
you're
meat
tell-
and it's not cooked, no, thank you.
Wait, you're telling me you're married but you won't eat raw fish? You serious? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, I'm going to hell for that one. That's it, guys. That's all
Sure.
my jokes were.
And I can't believe it. I'm a New Englander and I don't get into fish too much.
Wait, that's what sends you to hell? That's more milder than I expected.
I know. I talked in a theater once too. It's been my destination. No. I'm kidding. Oh, holy smokes, dude! Whew.
How
Oh,
dare
yeah,
you
so-
speak
so-
in the theater? How dare you when the greatest movie, the greatest piece of artwork, The Marvels was playing?
Yeah, I got there 15 minutes late. First time meeting Maji in person. I got there. I sat down. I'm like, what did I miss? She's like, literally nothing. I'm like, oh damn. All right.
Well,
harsh,
okay
so.
then.
Hail
Oh.
Pritchard Pub. I'm guessing it's AC.
Nope.
He says, Wrangler, hail, and smash that like button. Thank you for the reminder. Yes, please, smash that like button and all that YouTube Rumble streamer stuff.
Slap that bell. Punch that like button. Wait. I don't know, something. And
But
sushi
enough
is not-
about your date night.
Jesus. Anyway. And sushi is technically supposed to be uncooked, but having
That-
cooked fish does not disqualify it from being sushi. Even the ancient Chinese, Japanese used to cook some of their fish before putting it on sushi.
I know there's a difference between sushi and sashimi. Sashimi is always raw.
I love
And
it.
it's the one Japanese food that you absolutely need to be eating with your fingers, not friggin' chopsticks.
Well, while everyone's arguing over how to eat Chinese food, I'm going to go fry up some bacon.
Mm,
You know they have beef
bacon, bacon.
They have
The holy
beef
food.
sushi over there too. Yeah, I've never had raw beef. That sounds.
Yeah,
not-
it's not-
I have.
cannibal sandwiches are not a thing I would trust.
I grew up on escargot.
Yeah, but you're French.
I've eaten
That's
steaks
that's
raw.
like-
It's
I'm
That's
sorry.
like
Not bad.
That's like an Asian eating rice when they're growing up. That's not unusual, Frederick.
It's true, but it was in Germany though.
Ah, yeah.
German escargot. Okay, I'm sorry. That just stripped the gears out of my head. Wow.
In the gas house.
German escargot, yeah. They were hiding underneath the floorboards. You know what? Anyway, I'm stopping that.
Wow.
Yeah, snail
I
and
did-
snail.
I didn't grow up in
Nine.
the 30s and 40s, you know. I mean, I may be old, but I'm not that old.
Actually, you have
Bienvenue.
Freddie, you have one of those faces. I could be 15, 20 years off, and I wouldn't be sure. Just looking at you, you could be much younger or much older than my guess.
Thank you. I guess.
excuse me
I
for
get it,
one
yeah,
moment.
man.
I have to go mess with my my router. I'm having signal issues. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's what they call it.
Beat that
Anyway.
thing.
Like it owes you money. Anyway, so
Mhm.
how did you go? How did y'all react to the news of the new Finding Gollum movie that they're going to be making and producing here soon?
With at least mild indifference, but my lovely bride Bambo is curious because she's been getting information leaked out about what Hunt for Gollum is going to be about, and I'm like, okay, that might do.
I got no idea what it's going to be about.
Well, you had an idea.
That's because I've read the books. I read the appendices.
She read all the extraneous stuff.
Bambo,
I have a
you've
feeling
heard-
it's
you've-
going to
you've-
be
I don't know
about
what he plans on
going
doing.
after and
I know
finding
what
Gollum.
should be there, not what he's going to do.
That's
Yeah.
yes.
Bambo, I have a
Of
question.
it.
Since you know more than us about it, me and
Huh.
my friends were theorizing that it's a Gollum romance story. We're really crossing our fingers for it.
Bambo, Christian wants to know whether or not it's going to be a Gollum romance story.
No.
No.
It loves the precious.
That was a very firm no, don't be stupid sound.
Well, there needs to be 6 of them.
I'm not. Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's
the
like-
router popped me in the jaw.
How to lose a Gollum in 10 days? I don't know.
No. Funny, no.
It's like Matthew McConaughey is also going to be Gollum in the new.
Oh, that's
Oh.
just weird.
Oh, what was that one?
Yeah,
bounty
now you're
hunter
going to
movie?
hell.
So I
That's
hear
my
it's based
precious.
like
all right.
the Gollum story is going to be based on what, like 2 pages that Tolkien wrote, and it's going to be like extrapolated on, I guess.
I think it's like 2 paragraphs or something.
2
Based on
paragraphs.
2 pages.
From
That's
the,
not a
Welcome,
lot
Blight.
to base a movie off of.
from the people who brought you Rings of Power.
No, actually, it's going to be done by Jackson, Peter Jackson, and he's going to try to bring back as much of the people that worked on Lord of the Rings as he had. So,
Welcome, Blight, to the chat. I think that's a new name. I don't remember seeing you in here before.
I've seen him.
I
I've
don't
seen
think
Blight
it could be any worse than The
before.
Hobbit. The Hobbit wasn't as bad as some people
Yeah.
wanted to make it out to be.
Oh,
Yes,
The
she-
Hobbit
she
is not
points-
nearly as bad as it could be.
oh, you can hear that. Okay.
Yeah, I can hear her. Yeah.
Okay.
Hail
I found
Star
out-
Fury.
There's also a fan re-edit of The Hobbit that cut out all the extraneous.
I heard it's way more watchable.
Extraneous.
Yes, thank you. I downloaded, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, no, despite any any problems I have with The Hobbit, I still think it's the best on-screen dragon ever put to film, in my opinion. I don't think they've. I don't think any.
Have
any
you
film
ever
has
seen
come
Puff the
along.
Magic Dragon?
Exactly what I was going to say. Wrangler, you and I think like
I wouldn't
Puff
be
the Magic
surprised.
Dragon has not
Great.
been outdone. You do not know what you're talking about.
And
Oh,
in a
Jesus.
snarky statement, she would not be surprised if Legolas shows up.
Somehow, yeah. It's like
Somehow.
yeah. He's gonna ride Gollum somehow. I don't know. Something's gonna happen. But
Star Fury says Gollum is going to be shit. They do not have enough material to adapt, and Hollywood can't write worth shit.
if everything they had done recently was really really good, like high effort, good reception, faithful adaptation, I would have been, I'll take a chance on something like this. But as things stand right now, not a chance. Not a chance in the world, yo.
I mean, Peter Jackson will do a good job with whatever stuff is written for him, but I don't know that he's going to be doing the writing on this.
I think he probably will. They did writing on him and oh God, what's her name?
Yeah.
No,
Author behind the Fourth Wing.
No.
Don't make us beat you with a shovel, Kahuna.
How do you know what I was into, MD?
That'd be a shovel made of pasta then.
Anyways, she's been with them on a lot of different movies and wrote for him. So most likely, if he's bringing people back, he's going to bring her back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
She's already in, from what I heard.
Snow asked, wait, are we doing just a Gollum track?
Nobody really knows.
We don't know. Yeah, like all we know, it's based on very small amount of lore, based on some couple pages in a book or two, and they're going to turn into a full on production.
If it's good, it will be by accident. By miracle.
I love Andy Serkis. I think he's a very underrated actor.
Oh yeah.
I just don't. It's not a story. Who's asking for this story?
The studios, because they got nobody liking their movies.
We need to make money.
They forgot storytelling is a thing, and they're just focused on IP.
Yeah. So they're gonna.
Yeah.
I would hate to be a good IP right now, because if I was a good IP and Hollywood I can't speak tonight, and Hollywood focused on me, I'd be like, oh crap, they're gonna come in here and ruin me.
Wrangler, you sounded like Joe Biden describing America for a second there, brother.
That's President of America.
Excuse me, I was a little bit more articulate than that, not by much, but a little bit.
I can describe America in one word.
They're just going to replace his when he speaks. They're just going to dub in Charlie Brown's teacher, and nobody will notice.
Yeah, for sure.
The Revenant and the Gollum.
That might be interesting.
Oh, speaking of the Revenant and thanks for that, Kahuna. Stick that tongue out. Jog my memory is what I was trying to say.
You?
Okay, that's right. You mentioned Fourth Wing. Thank you for the reminder. Yes.
Oh no!
I put a video out. Iron Age versus Venom, and Herman's character is on that list.
Yes.
Hal Cedric.
Hal Cedric. Yes.
Yes. Oh my. Yes.
Did he do Fabulous?
He says IP mining, just like the Disney weatherman said.
So yes, and my book will be coming out the 21st this week. Actually, tomorrow.
Hell
Sweet.
Yeah,
and I couldn't
book.
help but notice it said book 1.
Yes, there's the second book. I have the second book sitting right in front of me.
Oh, that's cool, dude. So, is there a chance we'll get a 2024 release on that second book?
I'm hoping.
That would be incredible.
I
dude.
want to do a Kickstarter to see if I can fund production of it, because now that I'm
for the audiobook.
Yeah, now that I'm a business, I want to try and not be so deep in the red continuously. So maybe doing a Kickstarter, and also if you go on Kickstarter, that expands your
reach.
Your reach. But that may mean that I don't actually release it on Amazon until maybe next year. But if you back to Kickstarter, it'll probably be this year. I'm still debating how I want to do this.
Herman, I have an idea. I could read the prologue of the second book as Trump, and then you could cut me off like partway through and say, "To save me from hiring this guy, please fund my Kickstarter. We need."
That's great.
And then he
Oh,
went into that
what do you get for a
big
picture there, Boncher?
They were hiking in the Orem. It was a very nice hike. Probably one of the best hikes they've had in a while. The Orem's a great place, great people.
Then there was a cult. Think Clinton funded it. I don't really know.
Star Fury says, "I'm sorry, but how dare these Hollywood hacks dare to try and write something in the wonder that is Tolkien's Middle Earth? The hubris is seriously unreal."
You were asking
yeah,
who
for
the Avatar
sure.
was? That's Harvey Korman, man.
I would have cheered them on for trying until I saw what they were doing. I'm like,
Well, like, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, you can't trust them to do anything right because they're all about pumping out the message because that's all they know is the message. The funny part is, now you sit there and think about it. These hack writers have been getting up into the top, getting into the Hollywood's upper echelon, and you're like, okay, they've spent their entire line basically crapping on the assignments they've been given just so they can get up to the next rung of the ladder and say, I wrote for this, I wrote for that, and meanwhile leaving out the I destroyed this, I destroyed that, and then they get to Hollywood and they don't have anywhere to go, and they just have the message, which they
message.
do. And then basically they got nothing because all they were built on was destroying things.
Well, like even the IP thing, it's like everyone's like, "Oh, why are they ruining everything?" Do you guys not remember years ago when they were having the big IP wars, like Disney and all these different groups were trying to buy out every possible, but like potential to adapt IP.
More.
yes, the big companies were fighting each other to see who gets to be the IP locust.
Yep, and then they had at first I was upset. They had a hold on, sorry, one sec.
That was a fun spot to leave that at.
Anthony Rondinelli stopped in. What's up, dude? Good to see you.
My precious Earth.
My
part of Gollum,
precious Earth.
in that part, Gollum will be played by Al Gore.
You know, if you boil a frog, the frog eventually boils away.
Yeah, they're just missing one element to make that an awesome movie.
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
Yeah.
Vice President Gump. I was supposed to be the president of the United States, but I didn't get there.
So I went to the Shad Derby this weekend, set up a booth and everything, and was trying to hawk a few books. Maji! She says, listening too sick to talk, but I thought I would support. Thanks for stopping in the chat, at least, Maj. Good to see you. Hope you feel better.
Well, stop being sick.
Hey, Maji-chan.
Yeah, but I, right on the other side of the fountain, another author had a booth set up. He was selling his books and went over, met him. We bought each other's book, and I've been listening to the audio book today at work. I'm about 2/3 through it, and dude, it's freaking awesome. See, why is it not popping here? Oh, that's right. I had to boot myself and then come back in.
Oops.
The share screen I had set up is no longer set up.
Jeez. It's going to be that kind of a day for everybody.
That's right. Here we go. The Witchfinder's Serpent. This it starts off, the prologue is in 1600s in England, and then it goes to 1600s in Connecticut. The whole book is set in my hometown, so I got a little bit of a bias here. And so, like, the world building when he's describing the places is like, oh yeah, I drive by that every day. But it goes back and forth between 2019 and the 1600s, and I've been listening to it all day, and I am not bored at all. This is I'm having a lot of fun with this. Interesting magic system, getting little bits and pieces throughout, but I don't still have a full getting just enough to understand what's going on bit by bit while not explaining everything to keep you wondering. So it's kind of like a supernatural mystery / adventure.
Mhm.
And it revolves around a couple of brothers, teenage brothers, and their dad dies, and they go off with their Aunt Cecilia, who they never even heard of before. And then shenanigans ensue. They find out about her past and something she's been trying to protect people from, and get wrapped into it. And so it turns into a whole Scooby-Doo, Buffy the Vampire Slayer gang trying to stave off the bad guy. But it's a lot of fun, and I learned shit about Connecticut I had no idea. The first person executed for witchcraft was right here from Windsor
Oh wow.
in the U.S.
So how was it when you were there, Wrangler? I'm just curious. Like what? Like did you guys? Never mind. Anyway, bad jokes, but I'm back. Sorry, I had to do some stuff for family for a second.
No problem. Gino popped in. King Bob, what's up, King Bob?
King Bob!
Dino. Ooh shit! Fuck a wasp.
That was so delayed. We just hear him screaming and pounding. But it takes like
Running around.
oh, 5
But of course, you get to
seconds.
see him bare chested now too. Good lord.
Again?
Let's just hope he's got pants on.
You hope a lot.
That could get awkward.
You must hold on to hope, no matter how hopeless it may seem.
Star Fury asks Wrangler, do they include the horrors of the Witchfinder? Yes, they do. Pretty much, you want to talk about projection. The Witchfinder is everything he claims he's going after. So
She doesn't have
But-
warts all over her face. She must be a witch. Like, oh my god.
no, it digs into history and what happened with him and everything. And it's like, I knew a lot of it already, but hearing some of it described, I'm like, oh, that's not cool. And the villain of this is imagine the Joker, but with a more low-key, subtle personality, and he's a necromancer. That's the kind of character they're dealing with as the villain. It's
Oh boy.
Interesting.
yeah, this guy's a real piece of work.
You should read The Red Hand of Doom by Robert E. Howard. It's a little like witchcrafty, similar time frame, like kind of that part of America too. But yeah, no, it's a fun one. But yeah, no. What I was saying earlier was, I was really upset because they were going to make a series about Elric of Melniboné, and I was so upset because they canceled it because they're like, oh, it's too much like The Witcher, even though The Witcher is like partially stolen from Elric of Melniboné. But now looking at how they did The Witcher, I'm like, I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm happy they didn't adapt it. It's probably for the best. Probably would have been shit.
Yeah, when pretty much whenever they say, "Hey, we're making this movie now," everyone's like, "No, please, no."
It's
And
already
when actually
dead.
it's good, we're like, "Oh, wow." It shocks us. And unfortunately, when something actually does come out that's good, it is getting overlooked now because everyone's lost faith in what Hollywood in general produces.
Well, that's why the indie sphere is such a good spot. Like, even I was talking to the filmmaker Chris Hicks the other day, and he has his a little horror film coming out here soon. It's supposed to be pretty good. But yeah, no, the indie sphere is it has this great opportunity to fill in the gaps left in all the entertainment, and that's why I'm so proud of like people like you guys who are able to write and contribute in the ways that you guys do. Like,
Yeah,
read out. You talk about history, and you don't tell us that Lincoln was a slave-loving hero of mankind like everybody else. Wrangler, you've written your books. Hermit, your books are fantastic. Boncher, yours too. Frederick, you're making comics. It's a beautiful thing, man. I love it.
Yeah. King Bob says, "Stuntman was amazing." Are you talking about the Fall Guy?
He is.
With the
I
least
remember.
action hero.
I remember the old series with Lee Majors. I used to watch that when I was a little kid.
No, don't reject consume indies.
Yes, consume the indie.
Mindlessly
that-
consume indies.
That
Buy my book.
That
I
sounds
think
like we're
Dis- I
being captured and sacrificed or something. I mean,
Consume the indies.
And I'm gonna tell you, I think Disney they completely misunderstood the term "consume the indie."
Take out the
Yeah.
in, and I think they're there. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, no, I mean Indiana Jones.
Yeah, they
Consume the
consumed him.
indie.
Yeah.
They did.
They went a little too much mole around on that one.
Yeah, yeah. And anytime I see anything related to Indiana Jones, I feel like quoting the movie. It belongs in a museum.
Where's Sean Miller? Oh, wait, wrong movie.
Close enough. Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones.
you call him Dr. Jones.
You come act again. I'm too old.
You,
They give you money.
you know what a boat they missed? They really missed the boat here with Indy. They should have brought him in, and instead of whoever that was, that chick they had, they should have brought it Short Round back, because Disney had him on their payroll. I mean, he was in Loki. They should have gotten him that back as Short Round and done a passing of the torch movie where Indy passes it on to Short Round.
Yeah,
That would have been. People love Short Round.
Mm-hmm.
He could have had a whole character arc.
And he just won an Oscar.
It's actually Long Round now.
Better than becoming Dum Dum.
Looks
Holy
like my
smokes.
I Support Indies T-shirt is showing up next week.
Nice. I've been so short on cash recently. Like I have this big old Amazon list planning to buy soon, including Captain Garrett's book and a few others. And I'm just
That
like,
was a good one.
I need to adjust. I
You
need
can
to
join us then.
save up a little bit. but man, I feel bad. I put a pretty substantial amount of money into indie stuff, and I'm just like, I haven't been able to hack it recently, man. It's a lot going on in my life right now.
well, you are hacking, but I don't think it's indie stuff.
Wrong kind of hacking.
Revenant in the two. Anyway. Speaking of hacks, Herman, how are you?
Buy my book.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Call me whatever you want, but buy my book.
He's like one of those buttons, like
Like one of those dolls with the cord on the back. Pull the
Chatty
cord.
Cathy.
except you don't
Buy
look
my
as good in a
book!
skirt.
That would be a chatty chunk.
You pull it 3 times in a row.
Anthony, those two names should not go together.
Rice, eat,
Oh,
drink
no.
a White Claw. Anyway,
By the
Queen
butt.
of the Bridge
By
and
the
Tomb
book.
Raider are two things that just should not be mixed.
Royce and White Claw.
No, you keep mixing that. It's hilarious.
Well, mixing Royce and White Claw is like mixing Mentos and Coca-Cola.
Frothy?
I'm curious about the new Tomb Raider movie. Why would they get a new Tomb Raider movie when the obviously best adaptation possible was already made many years ago? Oh, dude.
Back when her boobs were real.
Also,
No.
you know what's weird about that
Real
movie?
in quotes.
They have all these American actors. They all give fake British accents. Then they get one English actor, and they give him an American. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Holy crap! Daniel Craig is an Englishman. What are you guys doing? Oh,
That's true. They get people who aren't British to fake an English accent, and then they get the British guy to fake
an American accent, yeah.
an American accent and have them work together. It's like, are we making this difficult on purpose or what?
Pretty
Yes.
much, man. Pretty much.
Yes.
And then what cracks me up is when you see interviews with actors and shows you watch for years and realize, holy shit, all these dudes they're all English.
Well, like Christian Bale, I didn't realize he wasn't American until like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. I was like, oh, wait, what? You're not American? Fuck. All right.
I watch House and then I see him interviewed. Oh, he's a Brit. I watch Daredevil and I see Charlie Cox interviewed. Oh, he's a Brit. I watch Bionic Woman, see the chick who played her interviewed. Oh, she's a Brit. You know, Tom Holland, a whole bunch of these actors is like, do we know how to act over here anymore? Or do we have to get them all from overseas? Not that I'm complaining. Some of them are damn good actors. Glad to have them, but it just
No.
it surprises me.
Americans don't know how to act on stage. They don't know how to act in public. They don't know how to act at work. They don't know how to act when they're driving on the freeway. They especially do not know how to act when they're in a goddamn grocery store. And
It's
they
true.
learn how to act on
Saying
all
you're
levels.
British.
I was gonna say shut your whore mouth, Rhea, but I kind of agree. No, actually, Wrangler. The reason is it's a budgetary constraint kind of thing. If they used American actors, they'd have to you build properly sized sets, and they just don't have the budget for it anymore. So
Well,
that's not over all these tiny European people.
I'd like to think it's because after Jennifer Lawrence, nobody else went into acting.
Well, she was the
good.
first. She was the first.
Jesus Sparza, welcome.
She is the last action hero.
First and last word in acting. The last word usually is a curse word, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And also
anybody,
why-
anybody watch Serenity? First line and last line in the movie were identical.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was
I
that?
did not know that.
Yep, that's it. Actually, not in the movie, but Mal's first and last line were identical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an interview with Nathan Fillion. He looked at his first and last line. He goes, "I only got one line in the whole movie."
Oh, what a great movie, man! I heard people complain a little bit about the film. They're like, it's not like the show. I'm like, yeah, it takes.
Yeah,
8 years
thank
later,
God.
it was yeah, it needed to finish things off, man. What do you want? You got the movie, which is more than most franchises deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Serenity was an excellent movie. Unfortunately, Firefly was not an excellent show.
Oh, but I loved it.
Whoa!
I loved Firefly.
I am all for Serenity. I am not for Firefly. I gave it 3 episodes, and I'm like, yeah, you got.
I watched that whole series on repeat.
Oh man.
MD, your sci-fi series has more than a little shared genetic information
And it
in
is
that
for me.
between that and Firefly. You
And yet I never watched Firefly except for 3 episodes, and I was just like, oh god, really?
the
Different
vibe
story.
is there. Like Herman, have you seen Firefly and read Boncher's like sci-fi stuff?
No, I haven't read Boncher's sci-fi stuff, but I haven't read anybody's stuff but mine. So
Yeah. He has
Well,
a TBR
it's
list,
true.
and it's all his. He's
Over.
on his own TBR list.
over and
Yeah.
over. I got like 4 books sitting on my desk. Otters being one of them. That it's like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to read it.
Yeah.
When you guys start
Well,
coming out with audiobooks, we'll talk.
I thought that was just one of the aspects of your onset dementia. You've forgotten how to read, but you still know how to write. Maybe not.
No,
Seems
that's me.
legit.
Selective memory.
That's me, Rain Manning. I'm an excellent writer.
Yeah.
I'm very
All
good.
right, Snow says,
I'm
"I love
right.
Firefly, and no one must touch it. It's too pure."
I'm
Well, this might scare you and offer you a little hope at the same time, RH. They are talking about continuing Firefly.
Leave
However,
it
the one to
alone.
keep doing it is Nathan Fillion himself.
Oh,
He's actually
So
not
it's
that.
like hopeful if they do it.
If they can get away from the cowboy and space vibe, I'd be more interested in it.
Shut
See,
your
that's
mouth.
where we're torn. That's exactly. It was Dukes of Hazzard in space. I loved it.
That's what's interesting about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'm sorry, I've
Is part of the, how dare you?
Oh my god, they did enough of those on Star Trek: The Original Series.
Yeah,
I
but
was
Star Trek
done
is
with it then.
bad. That's the
No. Okay,
Star Trek
then
was bad.
you need to have your mouth washed
Thank you
off.
for
with soap
reminding
and that.
Sorry, I look like I'm going to be witchified.
Okay, so
Called a witch just for
so-
speaking the truth.
okay, so let's do a little comparison. Let's play a little NFL championship football here. How many movies was spawned from Firefly? 1. How many seasons did they get? 1. How many seasons did the original series get? 3. How many movies came out of there? What, 30?
You know-
Plus
you know
5
what,
other
well-
spin-offs?
Let's use some comparative math. How many good Star Trek movies were there? Oh, 0. I forgot. How many good Star
Oh,
Trek
two
series were there?
God.
0.
Con.
6.
Yeah,
Four,
so
six.
Serenity, Firefly, it's 1 and 1, but at least there was a good one of each version.
So,
wrap
I
it on.
wouldn't think the two in the same category, though.
what
You
Wrap
sound
it
like a
on was
Buffalo
Firefly
Bills
originally
fan,
on?
man. Don't
I think-
even try.
I think I started a war.
James
Yes, you
Esparza,
did.
James Esparza has it right there.
Fox is Fox.
Yep.
I frankly
Fox
can't
apparently
say.
does not like Summer Glau because they canceled Sarah Connor Chronicles just as that was actually starting to get good. It
Oh,
started off
bro.
real rough, but it started to get good and interesting, and then they canceled it.
Well, I'll tell you.
I was young when that came out. I felt things for her, man.
Well,
that was
When Firefly came out, it was not on
Have
the
a great
local
night,
Kansas
Christy.
station.
Good night, Christy. Thanks for
Okay,
coming
I'm
by.
going to tell you the reason why there were not more Firefly movies is primarily Joss Whedon. He wanted to move on from that, and they did one movie for the fans, and it bombed at the box office, and he was done.
Which is what kills him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
And it became such a big hit after the fact.
and Kahuna,
Both did, yeah.
you are so wrong about the frickin' movies.
Yeah.
Well,
Have you
Wrath of
Wrath
Khan.
of Khan?
What I'll specify is this:
The movies are
I have never seen a Star Trek show that I thought was worth my time. I have never seen a Star Trek movie where I was not wishing I was watching Star Wars instead.
Okay, nice.
Dude, my dull, dry brain can still enjoy Next Generation at least.
No,
I tried
decent for at least a
3 or
season
4
two.
different shows. I was pretty uninspired by the modern movies. I watched 1 or 2 of the older. None of them. I'd rather watch Mandalorian season 2 than anything I've seen.
Actually,
From
I kind
the
of like.
entirety of Star Trek.
I kind of like the Next Generation's First Contact with the Borg.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And a lot of lore got spun off from that movie.
Yeah,
I will say that Firefly or Serenity was an excellent film, but it wrapped everything up and had nowhere to go from there. No matter what you think.
Yeah, and like if you want more of the mystery resolved, there are comics that are not bad.
Yeah. That answered the whole 2x2 Hands of Blue thing.
Yeah, and they talk about the Shepherd a little bit more. They're like that. So there's other.
He was my
material.
favorite character too.
Yep.
Him and Wash.
The dynamic between honestly the
'cause you like
dynamics
those
between
actors.
all characters were very, very good. There was I didn't feel like there was a some people say River was kind of a weak cast. But I'm like, that's kind of that's a weird character. She needed to be weird, and she was weird.
Yeah.
So.
I love how she was pretty much barefoot through the whole movie.
I think are you okay? I think I swallowed a bug.
I swallowed a bug.
So you're going to be amused then. Even though I dump on the whole Space Cowboys, I have a story going up for an anthology that is a cowboy story set in my Dream Nebula setting. We'll see if I get picked up. I'm up for one anthology.
Knew it! Liar!
You got to know how to do it right. Joss Whedon didn't.
Well, that's where we disagree.
Yes, I
hey,
know.
your
I
regular
like what he
Dream
did.
Nebula
Look.
series is about 2 yeehaws from being a space freaking western. if your space trucker of a main character lived a little further south, it would be a western. Hate to break it to you.
Dude, I based him off of the Snowman, Cletus Snow from Smokey and the Bandit. Come on. It doesn't get much snugger.
I don't know. What's going on here?
I like to think that the Kahuna has a whole scale, a literal ruler, and it's the yeehaw rating for how much of a western the story is.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
How many yeehaws is it?
how many yeehaws?
Welcome, James.
And you still haven't read the
Hey,
first
James.
2 of that, so
I know. I think I even bought them digitally too, but I'm busy.
no excuse anymore. You can even have your computer read it to you.
and it's all right. I can live with not being able to read every book in the timeline that I wish. But how
I
can
know.
you live with being so wrong about Serenity? I mean,
Easily.
who really has the bigger burden to bear here?
I love Serenity. I have no problems with Serenity. I'm just
Oh,
saying that
sorry,
I don't like the
Firefly.
show it's based on.
You didn't even watch all of it. It's
I didn't
40
have to know I
episodes.
didn't like it.
It's not hard.
Well, for those who want their sci-fi to be somewhere between Firefly and Star Trek,
The last science
there is
fiction-
Farscape.
Okay, that's what I was going to get at.
Farscape
That's
was
the
good.
last TV science fiction show I watched the entire thing, except for the Peacekeeper Wars because it's technically a truncated season 4 that they should have gotten completely, or season 5 they should have
Yeah. Unfortunately, the budgets didn't allow them.
Exactly. And I watched it because it was the most unique thing I had seen in a while that just wasn't huffing its own farts.
Actually,
I liked it when
It
they
can be
went-
really serious or really goofy, and it still fits.
Yeah. What was that, Herman?
Far Escape to SG-1.
I was about to say Babylon 5 wasn't bad. I had actually started watching that, and then I kind of fell away.
I didn't hate Babylon 5. I liked the Stargate movie. I didn't really get into the series that
I'm
much,
not.
but the movie was good.
I
I
really
enjoyed SG-1. I didn't follow it past the spinoffs, though.
I didn't like the Stargate series. I liked the movie.
The original
itself.
movie, Stargate, was outstanding.
The movie is really, really good. I'm like looking back.
Kurt
It's a
Russell and
very
James
nostalgic
Spader,
movie.
man.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell, James
That's a
Spader
good
knocked
movie,
it out of
dude.
the park.
Well, yeah.
And
Well,
that
one of
movie
these
was-
things has Kurt Russell. The other does not. So
Well, Fubo Digital Lounge has joined us. He
Now you're
says,
thinking.
"Where do I get myself a yeehaw scale? I need it for reasons."
oh, that's just me. That's just my other.
He's a historian. He doesn't know a yee from a yaw or a ha. Never mind.
He doesn't
Apparently,
even
I
know
don't know
from
a
a
yee from
yaw.
a ha. Hey, welcome to the show,
Ironically,
brother.
King Bob, isn't that when they got the actors from Farscape in there?
Yeah, I did not see that. Whenever skipping through channels, I'd see occasionally. Wait a minute, what the heck is he doing there? What? Aaron's son? What is she doing on here?
You're on, wait, you can't be on more than one
Aaron
show. How dare
Soon
you?
was just a hottie.
Did you ever see Pitch Black?
Yes, I was so bummed when they took her
Yeah.
out that soon in the movie.
I will admit I
Yeah,
was a little grumpy about that.
It was like anytime my brother and I, like, that's when my brother and I knew someone was hot growing up, when we agreed, because we had very drastically different tastes. We were watching The Lost Boys, the second one, the bad one. Everyone after the first one's bad, but,
Wait a minute,
we're
there's a
watching it,
second
and
one.
There's more than
oh,
one.
there's at least 3 or 4. Yeah.
Oh God.
The second one, some of the actors weren't bad, but the main girl, man, the sister of the main character, whew, my brother and I were watching the movie, unprompted at the same moment. She's hot. Did we just become best friends?
Nope.
Nope.
Did anybody ever watch Andromeda?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I
Sounds
tried
so- I
to,
think
but
I
I
did.
just couldn't. It just
Hercules on a spaceship? Cool.
that was
Well,
that. I had the exact opposite reaction to Hercules on a spaceship, which is gonna be
Lexa
awkward
Doig,
if I get to meet him at Rise Up Con.
Lexa Doig played 3 characters on that show.
He's like Eddie Murphy, man. Holy shit. Also, so let's ask a more fundamental question. How many of you prefer Star Trek to Star Wars? How many of you are wrong? Okay, good. There's one.
I'm all
of
for
you.
the Star Trek over Star Wars. I don't care how wrong you want to call it.
I'll call
What?
it as wrong. It's unbiblical. How dare you?
I think
Well-
both of them are a race to the bottom.
Well,
Kahuna, you can sit there and tell me Star Wars is better all day long, and I will tell you that there are 4 lights.
What? I have
Well
no.
played.
What did you just say? I have no idea what you. I don't understand.
Got smoked.
That's
There was an episode where Picard was captured by Kim Kardashian. I mean, the Cardassians, and he was being tortured. They were trying to break his mind,
He
and
was
they,
getting the 1984 treatment.
yeah, he would light up four spotlights above him, and say, "How many lights are there?" And he'd say 4, and then he'd zap him. He goes, "No, there are 5." Now, how many lights are there? And he would not say 5.
you know where that comes from, though, don't you?
1984.
Gaslight, the movie.
No, 1984.
Okay,
Yeah,
Yep.
I believe it or not, I never read it.
it's in the question. It's in the question. Ah.
So
I
No,
think I was a huge-
I didn't like the storytelling style. Like I didn't like the episodic pretend to be sophisticated and make up bullshit every episode that it seemed like the earlier Star Trek stuff did. The aesthetic wasn't as cool. And then the later stuff, like we're gonna be different. I'm like, you're still bad though. Why are you? If you're gonna be different, be good at least. Fuck.
I didn't like World War II Navy in space so much, blended with space cowboy episodes. Those bothered me.
You
But
are
He's more of a
so
space
wrong.
cowboy. Picard is more of a fleet captain. I mean, acts more like a ship captain.
yeah, he
Also,
is.
In the
I'm
Navy.
Boncher, I'm getting the impression you just don't like yeehaws in general. You don't.
Yeah.
I am
You're
so
giving me that-
particular.
So
I'm
need
so
some more
particular.
yeehaw in your life.
what's a good western? Like name 2 or 3 good westerns in your opinion, Boncher.
2 or 3 good westerns. Well, the easy pick is Tombstone.
Yes, and you're correct.
That would be-
Emily is wrong about that one.
I don't know. Good westerns.
First
It's
one.
not that hard.
Oh,
brother.
that. Well, yeah, the 1960s Mag 7 definitely.
First one.
Yeah, that's the one with Yul Brynner.
Hmm.
That's a good
Okay,
one.
okay, that's acceptable. That's acceptable.
I gotta say, I do really enjoy the
True Grit.
original True Grit.
Yeah, I prefer the later one, but I do enjoy
The
both
remake
for
of
what
True
they
Grit.
are.
Yeah, the remake's good, but for different reasons, and I don't like the ending.
Not any of them.
It's more book accurate by a lot.
The remake of 310 to
True Grit.
Yuma is good.
That's a good movie. Yeah, no
Oh, yeah,
doubt.
that's good.
I haven't seen the original yet, so I can't say. What was the one we just watched? We just watched Rio Lobo recently, and that movie started out pretty lousy. I'm sitting there going,
It gets
so why
better.
is this supposed? Yeah, it has a great train scene at the beginning. I really liked that, but the acting was really blah. But then, oh dang it, what's that guy's name again? He plays the old coot with on the farm they're trying to save.
With the eyes turned
Yeah,
back.
with the eyes going in different directions.
Oh,
And all of a
yeah.
sudden, I suddenly can't remember his name. But he suddenly, everybody, when he got on Jack Elam, when he got on camera, everybody else's game up. I'm like, dang. And see, the only movie I ever saw Jack Elam in before that was Cannonball Run as the doctor.
Oh God, yeah.
What wasn't that Jackie Chan's first movie in the U.S.?
Yes,
It
it was.
was.
That was Jackie Chan's
Yep.
first movie in the U.S. And I will admit, I kind of like the second Cannonball Run because of Charles Nelson Riley playing Don Don, and he is just a scream
Oh.
with that. But yeah,
Louise is Captain Chaos.
But what if he was here?
yeah, but he is not here.
Oh wait,
But King Bob, in reference to the Star Wars, Star Trek, says, "I feel like the age-old comparing apples to oranges. I don't understand why everyone feels like they have to compare the two. Frankly, it's just for fun. I mean, Anthony Rondinelli says it best. Star Trek, Star Wars. However, I believe each franchise entertains in different ways. I have
know, one
friends
is
who are
for
much
fun.
more into Star Wars and Star Trek, and vice versa. Honestly, I
Debating
don't
now.
know why I don't get more into Star Wars, because it's fantasy, it's sci-fi, and it's adventure all rolled into one. That should be like should be humming with me right there, and
Yeah.
it just
Well,
It's
I
another
never got
One-
sucked into
one-
it like
one
it did with
theor-
Trek.
The prequels
one
killed it
series
for
is
me.
for people who enjoy a good story and the foundation of what story is, and the other story is for communists. So different strokes, different.
And it's quite normal for nerds to debate Star Wars and Star Trek. I mean, it's been going on since they started to exist, and
Yes.
that's what nerds do.
Here, you want to watch a Star Wars fan page? Posit this question to them: Hannibal Lecter makes the perfect Jedi because he does it all without emotion.
No, he would make a great
There's
Oh, there you
more
go.
to
Vulcan.
it than that. You have.
No, there isn't. Okay,
Yes, there is.
midichlorians.
No,
Hannibal
Dexter would
Lecter
make a
was-
great Vulcan.
Midichlorians is one stupid thing that is in the Star Wars canon. Star Trek is filled with midichlorian level bullshit.
Actually, it's closest to hard science than it is in Star Wars. So
Wait.
I-
You telling me in the Navy they don't fix things by realigning Jeffrey's tubes?
Has anyone, or just tapping a panel while saying compensating? It's all better. No. But has anyone? Oh man, I just went blank on what I was going to say. Dang
Blazing
it.
Saddles and Maverick, 2 other excellent westerns.
Oh yeah,
Pale
the
Rider.
Yuzhong Vong was
Oh.
I think after I stopped, or I got in right at the end of that, or right at the beginning of it. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh wait, does anyone remember that old weird Western that Burt Reynolds was in, Navajo Joe, where they pretended he was a Native American? Does anyone remember that movie? What a weird
sorta.
idea! It's like we're gonna take this guy, clearly the whitest 5'11", like masculine, like denim wearing man we can find. He's an Indian, man. It's all good.
Can't be
No,
worse
don't
than
question.
Sean Connery
Norris.
as a Japanese and James Bond.
Yeah.
I can no longer separate Burt Reynolds from Archer though anymore. My brain is broken that way, especially when the episode they did have Burt Reynolds come on and play himself.
In my head, Burt Reynolds, the first thing I always think of is Smoking the Bandit.
Well, of course.
Yep.
Star Fury, when you say Broken Arrow, you talking about with Christian Slater and Samantha Mathis?
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want you to leave
I'm
out
talking about the old
other
cowboy
big name.
movie.
Hail Fu Man Blue.
Fu Man Blue.
Will you
Man,
please stop
after my own
shooting at the
too.
nuclear
Hey, shout out to Man Blue.
weapons?
Yeah, there you go. That was a great one.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
here's one for you. Have you ever heard of sukiyaki westerns?
I've
It's-
heard the term,
No.
but I can't say I've
Oh
actually seen
man,
it.
they are just messed up. They're hilarious. The Chinese
Yeah.
and Japanese decided to do spaghetti westerns, except they're a little
And
off.
Korean.
Yeah, and Korean. We watched about a month and a half, 2 months ago. We watched The
We
Good,
should
the
call-
Bad, and the Weird,
Weird, all right.
and it is weird. It is beyond weird.
Well, they're not spaghetti westerns. What should we call them? Sushimi
They're called
westerns?
sukiyaki western. That's what they're called.
I know, but I want another food-based
Lo
name.
mein westerns they are.
Yeah, I agree
Or-
with Readout. No Josie Wales? I mean, that's a really good one.
Oh, Josie Wales was
Oh,
one of my favorites. Of the
I
Olmsted.
haven't mentioned a single Clint Eastwood western because almost all of them deserve to be on the list. That's not my name.
No.
I said almost all. There are some that are meh.
Good, the bad, and the ugly.
Good. That's fine. The second one, for a few dollars more, is the best of the trilogy.
Bone
full
Bone
stop.
Tomahawk.
I have
Yeah,
a
that's a
fistful
good
of
one.
dollars.
A fistful
one's-
of dollars is good. A few dollars more is better.
Look, I agree that almost every Clint Eastwood Western is great, except Paint Your Wagon. We don't talk about Paint Your Wagon.
The one he sings in, gotcha.
yeah. Joe Kidd was kind of disappointing. It
That's
wasn't bad. It just wasn't good compared to so many of his other ones.
I
What about
love
Young
all the
Guns?
westerns that ripped off
Young Guns is
Japanese movies.
Young Guns is
that,
I
would be
love
magnet.
movie
That'd
for
be the
what it
Mag
is.
7 series.
Well, there's a couple of them because
What about Wild Wild West?
Clint Eastwood was in two
no, that doesn't
were
exist.
rip-offs.
You guys know what Will Smith turned down to be in that movie?
Matrix.
Yeah, he was supposed to be Neo. And he
I
turned that
like
down for
Wild West.
Thank
In the
goodness.
I
Wild
like
Wild,
it.
yes, yo.
Yeah, baby. I got that one on VHS.
We got mechanical spiders and shit.
It's really stupid. Now, watching it in retrospect almost 30 years later, it's highly entertaining. At that time,
Avanti.
what were they
Wild Wild West?
thinking? Yeah.
We have that on DVD. The whole
I
series.
love it. I love
Hi,
it.
Emily.
Very
Hi,
simple
bad
Emily.
it's good.
entertainment.
Also, guys, don't bring up Tombstone. Emily isn't allowed to talk about Tombstone anymore
Mm,
because
don't
he
like
doesn't
Tombstone.
like it.
Oh,
the
well,
only
you know what
person
they
I have
say.
ever met who
Nobody
does not like
cares.
that movie.
That does raise the sus level. I will say that.
Spit's jaw.
I
You
suppose
fool no one.
everybody-
So what do you got going on tonight, Everly?
That's funny, man. Oh man, all that ranting, I'm getting tired, man. I don't feel very good.
There was
Research it says
Yojimbo
it goes-
Started
and
yelling at
another
Boncher
one.
about Space One, about Star Trek and space.
I
weapons.
reiterate, they just didn't do it right, and I did a space. I've done a space cowboy about a big game hunter in the Dream Nebula, and we'll see if I get picked up. I'm up for one anthology right now. They're going to see if it's a good fit, and if it's not, there's a space cowboy anthology coming out by Raconteur Press in I think it's going to release early next year, but the submissions close or open in August. So
You heard it here, folks. Dream Nebula, big gay hunter. It's going to be an anthology. It'll be fantastic.
yeah,
See,
you
It's
watch
a
it,
real gas.
it'll smoke your ass.
A Fistful of Dollars.
and a little bit more.
A Fistful of Dollars was a remake of Yojimbo.
Which
And then
yeah.
the character that went from Yojimbo to, I can't remember what the name of the next movie is, or the other
Lone
movie.
Wolf and Cub.
Yeah, it's a shot for shot.
Wow, really?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
Like
pretty much,
Yojimbo
yeah.
goes into the bar, gets a sake, and at the same shot for shot, you got Clint Eastwood coming in getting a whiskey. They just changed the
Brilliant.
weapons and the drinks,
Brilliant.
but it's a shot for
Yeah,
shot.
it was like the
Okay.
Japanese ripoff of the Lion King, like Kimba the White Lion or something. Like, it was
Sanjuro.
like
That
a
was the other one.
same exact
Sanjuro is
film,
another
just
one.
Bad.
Kimba the White Lion is his name.
Okay,
I
so
used
what
to-
is the
I used to
samurai
watch that
film?
when I was a kid.
What is the samurai film where you have the samurai pushing around a baby carriage that's suddenly loaded with a bazillion different weapons, and you got these freaky ninja coming after them?
Is that Lone Wolf or something? Something.
I don't
Wolf?
know if that's Lone
I
Wolf and
think
Cub.
that was called John Wick.
Lone Wolf and Cub. Yeah, I think that's it.
No. I've been trying to
I think
find.
that's
I
just
saw
your
part of it when I
average
was a
day in
kid.
Japan.
Hey, who's ready for the John Wick Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon crossover?
Excuse me.
No,
That's the
no,
thing.
that movie's great, but don't like they made a weird Netflix sequel not too long ago. It's bad, dude. Don't. Yeah.
John Wick
We-
for me is for it. It rises every movie until you get to the climax, and I'm sorry, the fourth one with the fact that it just went on together with its shoot 'em up sequences. I was getting bored, and then the top down section, I was just borderline barfing.
So pretty much it was good, but they kept going on with it too long. They should have probably stopped
You
at
could-
3.
I
Could've
mean, frankly,
no. You needed the
as
fourth
a
movie.
movie enjoyer, you can only climax so many times.
And I'll be honest, you could have lost 40 minutes, 40 whole minutes out of the action sequences and improved the movie immensely. And
That's
especially
rough
that
when it's an
whole
action
top
movie.
down- and that whole top-down firefight sequence. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not paying here to watch you play your game. It was painful, dizzying, and I got
Tickets
I literally had to
available
watch-
now on Twitch.
both me and Bamba were heads down at one point, not watching, just listening because it was so disorienting. Both our stomachs were like, yeah, you know that popcorn? I don't think we're gonna hang anymore. So, but
Yeah,
otherwise,
not-
John Wick
yeah.
could have been outstanding.
Yes, John Wick with with a Bill and Ted personality.
69, dude. That's how many people I killed this movie.
Be excellent, or I'll kick your butt.
Oh,
Well, I have a friend that gets mad at me for not wanting to watch The Equalizer, and I said, listen, The Equalizer for me will always be Edward Woodward, not Denzel Washington. And 2, it takes the action seriously, and that leaves me very queasy the way I take it. But
I didn't even know about the Equalizer before Denzel Washington. Now it's Queen Latifah.
Yeah.
It does not exist. The Equalizer was Edward Woodward back in the 1980s, and the one thing I found really unique about it was they had one of the members of the police that did the scoring for that show and did a really good job.
Can we
But
just have a yeah?
Edward
We go-
Woodward was
yeah.
a great action show back then.
Can we just go back to the 1980s and 70s when we had funny bad action movies? Like, can we have a remake of like Big Trouble Little Tokyo?
Yes.
Yes, or Escape from New York or Escape from L.A.
You have the right.
Absolutely.
To be,
Let's
you have
go down
right
the list
to
of John
be dead.
Carpenter films. Though I will say I have both versions of the original and the remake of The Fog. They're both. It's weird. They're both good, but for different reasons. The original John Carpenter, face it, the man's
Yes,
just
heavily.
gifted. But the remake in like 2003, 2006, somewhere in that one thing that they did better is that they got the motivations for the ghosts absolutely, tone perfect. Really did a good job with it. Unfortunately, making it modern day, it lacks all the class of the original 1980s film. There's no sense of isolation, and there's everything has this stupid, I forgot to leave the 90s veneer to it.
Yeah.
But they got certain points of the writing for the motivations and everything really well done. You got to feel the backstory of the villains a little bit, not to redeem them so much as to say, yeah, they're evil and this is how they got there. But also the
music mentions Tango and Cash. Everly, I don't know if you noticed, but my my trippy clip that I play, this one. Stay safe out there, Trip. The power grid needs you. Electrical shocks are from Tango and Cash.
Oh.
What did you just say? Repeat yourself.
Tango and Cash, the movie. The two of the electrical shock scenes in this clip were from that movie.
I misheard the last word you said. All right, moving on.
Remake Cobra. Shouldn't we leave that one alone, Star Fury? We see what they do with remakes now. I get your point, but I don't trust them to do it.
This is where the law stops and I start.
Animation overload. What's up, man?
Yeah.
And
Cobra is such
Ernest Lamb is it? I think that's a new name in this chat. Welcome.
He's an earnest lamb. Yes, indeed. Anyway, he's a lamb who won't be silenced. Anyway, moving on.
For long.
See you later, Pritchard.
Peace out, brother. Thanks for coming by. Oh, sure.
Yeah, it absolutely was silly, but it was fun.
And it has
So it wasn't Commando.
Only Stallone could deliver those lines with the most the utmost seriousness, like serious performance like that. He's like, can you imagine even Arnold? Imagine someone else. This is where the law stops and I start.
Oh yeah, I mean,
in that light, Star Fury. Yeah, I could see that doing very well.
What's funny is I just watched the Suicide Squad this week, and so I got to listen to Sylvester Stallone playing King Shark, and I'm like, okay, he did well with that. He only has a few words to say in the entire film, and he made the most of them.
He didn't even have to alter his He didn't even have to change his natural voice, man. It's a perfect voice.
Exactly.
And
you know an old action film that I thought I'd really enjoy and just was too boring. The first numero uno from the Mad Max movies. I thought it would be it was a bad movie. I did not enjoy watching it.
Which movie? The first Mad Max?
The first Mad Max.
I was unimpressed with it too.
You talking the Mel Gibson version or the remake?
Yeah.
The original Mad Max,
The original.
1979. Yeah,
Yeah.
I still have a hard time believing they're like, oh no, this is supposed to be the apocalypse. It's like, well, this is a really shitty way of
This
depicting the
just
apocalypse.
looks like Australia. Have you been there? Apocalypse. This is what the less cultivated part of Australia looks like.
I was expecting Canadian Roadrunner to come flying through there.
Okay, so think of it this way, though. Also, isn't that just the nature of Australia? Apocalypse happens, and they're like, "Whoa, something happened, mate."
Life goes on.
Yeah, right. Still trying to get killed by all the wildlife around here, so not much different.
It's like where my grandma lives in Hawaii. It's so far. It's such a weird area. It doesn't have an address. It never has.
Have a great night, Star Fury.
She slept through the fire that took over like half that part of the island. She had no idea there was anything wrong. She had a couple green valleys many miles between her and the fire. It never would have burned through that stuff, but yeah, it was still just like she's so disconnected. Like, yeah, and she's lived there since she moved there in the 1964. There,
Wow.
she was a 6 foot tall white lady from Michigan. She had no reason to be there. The locals are like, there's nothing but sugarcane and fish. Why are you here? Like, she's taller than everyone there. Yeah.
She's like sugar cane and fish. Now leave me alone. We got the valleys between us for a reason.
Met a guy while she was vacationing there, wrote home, said, "Hey, Mom, I'm not coming back. I'm going to move to Hawaii." She's like, "You don't even like summer. What are you doing?" And then she, stay there. Her husband said, "Oh, wow, you're pregnant? I guess you better start a business. We're not going to make it on your teacher salary. And there's no way I'm going to get a job. So, here we go."
Okay, so Mad Max, the first Mad Max movie, I will admit, it has like 2 to 4 good scenes in it, and one of them is
That's
the
exactly
big ending. Yeah, and that for some reason was able to parlay enough attention to make the Road Warrior, which actually was the more visionary of the bunch, because nobody had done a post-apocalyptic film like that. But Mad Max is one of those freakish movie series that gets better with every film, because I thought Thunderdome was actually superior to the previous two, purely because
I would agree with
the
you.
world.
I
don't know,
enjoy
man. I don't
Thunderdome
know.
far more than Road Warrior.
Yeah,
Not so to
Road
say
Warrior-
Road Warrior ain't freaking
Yeah.
awesome in its own right, but
I
there's a
don't
lot
know,
more
man.
happening in Thunderdome. The
Like
problem with
Master
Thunderdome,
Blaster's embargo.
Something
Yeah.
embargo.
what?
Escargot, we talking about eating snails again there, Frederick? What's going on?
I'm down for that.
Wait. While we're on it, Frederick, what do snails taste like? I'm curious.
They're kind of squishy, and you eat them in like garlic butter.
I
So
feel like
they're-
that's the only, like, you have to eat it like a giant scallop, basically.
I would imagine it's probably got a similar texture to clams.
You got a tiny little fork. You fork it and you chew it, and it's kind of chewy. Tastes good.
First,
I'll
you have to
take your word
drink
for it.
a whole lot of beer.
He's
No,
French.
wine.
He's French. It's
French.
wine. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I
whole
was
lot
eating
of
that when I was
alcohol.
4 years old. So.
Furry, is that Fury Road or Furry Road?
Either one is
Oh,
fair.
God.
He's referring
Oh.
to the 2016 Japanese film Furry Road. It's a very,
Oh.
very different film.
Oh, you know, Disney's Robin Hood was just Robin Hood with the Jungle Book characters.
Mhm.
Maybe they should do that. They remake Mad Max Fury Road with the Jungle Book characters.
I came across a few cartoons of Fury Road redone with a grumpy cat. So, witness me? No.
It's like if they make another Mad Max movie, look at how I'm dressed. I'm halfway there. Toss on a little makeup, put a couple metal spikes on a helmet. I'm ready to go, man.
You look more Waterworld than Mad Max. And by the way, Waterworld is Mad Max on the water. So there you go. Beat the Mariner.
That move. I have
Mariner.
The smokers all show up on their jet skis.
But there's no Max anymore.
I have
It's
so many
Furiosa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I will admit, I'm willing to give that movie a chance, though I'm waiting for all the spoilers to come out and the audience reactions. And if it's got a decent one where it's not, as one person put up there earlier, Furiosa, then I'm probably going to go see it at some point. I'm willing to give it a chance, but
I'm not. They turned Max into a viable hood ornament for half of the last movie.
that was a quarter.
Oh yeah, and then they used him as a literal rifle stop. And no, I'll be honest, I did not really care for that movie very much.
Well, that's because you never saw Mad Max kind of down on the ropes like that. I mean, even in Thunderdome, he loses his car and his camels and everything he owns all throughout Thunderdome, but you never see him quite humiliated to the same degree that you do in Fury Road. I get
A live action Dick Dastardly? Who played the live action Gargamel? They're practically the same character sometimes.
Cumberbund. Is that his name? There's so many memes about his name. I don't remember what his actual name is anymore.
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah, Cumberbund, Bunch.
Cumberland
Cumberbatch.
Farms?
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Oh,
AC,
shoot.
I'm one of the few people, it
I
seems,
remember.
me and I think Redoubt are the one of the few people that like Thunderdome. I do agree that the whole world building got a little off the rails at time, but at the same time, when you look at it, it is still cohesive. George Miller had his hand on the tiller, and it is cohesive, except for one glaring thing that pisses me off, and that's Jedediah the pilot at the end of Thunderdome. I'm like, it's the same guy, and George Miller's like, no,
it's
we
not the
just
same.
cast a different
He's
guy.
still a pilot, for Christ's sakes. He didn't even change his personality or anything.
Exactly. That's what ticked
that
me
was
off.
that was like the Man and No Name series when they had the same villain in 2 movies. I'm like, excuse
Which
me?
is fine.
Different character.
Well,
Okay, sure.
And the Mad Max franchise does it elsewhere.
He used it. Captain Caveman. Yeah, and think Hugh Caines also plays Immortan Joe, and let's face it, Immortan Joe and
Ooh.
Toe Cutter were absolutely those became iconic villains. I mean, as lame as Toe Cutter was, he actually did. Hugh Caines turned him into a great villain.
Actually, that may be one of the reasons why the original movie was so popular. To be fair.
Mm-hmm. Even the Knight Rider from the first Chases.
It's what I remember. Honestly, Toe Cutter's one of the few big things I remember from the original Mad Max. And like I can still remember his scenes.
The Lord Humongous was great too.
The name has always made me cackle with laughter.
Well, of
The
course.
Ayatollah of rock and roll.
Oh Christ!
God,
That was-
All right,
Was it
boys,
Time Cop movie? No.
I gotta get out of here. I feel like puking and passing out, and
Oh, don't do
also
that.
very.
So it's
Do it
different
in
than
that order.
normal.
Lack of alcohol.
This time there's no fetal alcohol syndrome.
Oh, well.
All right. I hope you
Take
feel
care,
better, Kahuna.
All right, guys, take
Yeah,
it easy.
take care, Kahuna.
Feel better.
Let me think.
Yeah.
Chill. Iron Seas podcast tomorrow. AC's hosting this net tomorrow, so be
Sweet.
there 6:30 PST.
On AC's channel, right?
Yes, AC's channel. Woo! Never mind. I gotta go.
Oh,
He
God.
pulled us up. I think he pulled a woo
Crap.
muscle.
And
Did you say a
When
womb
emphysema
muscle?
woos. The woo of emphysema. The only post-apocalyptic Van Damme film I know of is Cyborg.
I could have sworn I remembered
I
another one.
thought there
where
was
he,
another one from him, though.
like he, I
He has
think
a
his
long list of
occupation
videos.
was called Slinger or something. I don't remember. I just remember like people like showing up around like decaying buildings and stuff. But I went through his film list on IMDb and I'm not seeing anything other than Cyborg. I mean, he had lots of movies in the 90s, but maybe I'm just misremembering the name or something.
There was Hard Target was pretty cool.
I just went through or grabbed the filmography from Wikipedia, and they have apparently a movie in 1984 called Monaco Fever Forever, where he is his role is gay karate man. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
That's
wow.
the character's name.
Yeah, Cyborg. Let's see, Kickboxer, Lionheart, Death Warrant, Double Impact, Universal Soldier was post-apocalyptic. Apparently, I never watched it. Otherwise, it's
Oh,
Cyborg.
you know what? That's the one I was thinking of when you were saying Cyborg. I was actually thinking of Universal Soldier.
Yeah, no, that wasn't post-apocalyptic.
No, it's
I don't
not.
know. I haven't watched it.
I can't say Time Cop either because it's not really apocalyptic, but there's some shenanigans that look like it could have gone that direction. They averted it.
No.
Maybe it was somebody else at the time that was similar to Van Damme. I don't remember.
Was it about basically a sport?
No, it was like, oh gosh, what was he? Good grief! I just remember he wore like a long coat of some kind, and he was walking around like destroyed streets and such. Buildings were kind of messed up, and there was like people appearing around or like second story of a building to shoot at him and stuff. I don't remember much about it. I may just have to go and watch Cyborg and see if that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Maybe. Anyway, I dropped the link to Iron Seas for tomorrow night on AC Pritchard's channel, Pritchard Pub.
Cool.
Nice.
Otherwise, the other movie that strikes the vein that way would be Blood of Heroes with Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
That was one of those movies I picked up once when I was a teenager, and it's like, what the heck is this? And me and some friends watching were like, hey, that was actually really good.
Yeah, it was a very underrated movie. He had a whole string of movies that were very sort of like below the radar, and they were all very, very good.
Absolutely.
What name
Blind
was it?
Fury was another one. Split Second was a third.
Split Second, I loved that film when I was
Yeah.
younger.
That film
Good.
makes absolutely no sense, but it's great.
Yeah, exactly. How do you know? How do you
Remind
know?
me that's I heard that, I know that movie, but it's not coming. It's not clicking at the moment.
Split Second?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is where he plays this whacked out cop in the near future where it's semi-flooded London, and he is on the hunt for a killer that is eating human hearts, and nobody believes him, that he thinks it's an alien or a devil or something like that, and they set some little death driver to go along with him, and he slowly starts realizing that Harley is the guy's name, is telling the truth, and he's not responsible for his partner's death. This thing is, and it's just how do you know all that?
Almost sounds similar to I Come in Peace, but I don't know if we could talk. Last time we discussed that movie, the clip got deleted from YouTube. They said it violated community guidelines.
Yeah.
Apparently the subject matter in that is too close to politicians or something. I don't know.
Two movies that I really remember of his was Blade Runner and Lady Hawk, and I absolutely love Lady Hawk.
Oh yeah, Lady Hawk is a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
That soundtrack is one song and it's very 80s.
Alan Parsons.
But what was the one that you're talking about that was his, that was kind of post-apocalyptic?
Blood of Heroes.
Okay, thank you.
It's a variation of football they play with a dog's skull. They're called juggers. It's really bizarre, but it's actually a very believable sport. It's like one part football, one part rugby, and just you just sort of gotta go, wow, this is actually really interesting.
Yeah, on paper that movie is all jacked up, but when you put it all together, the movie works, and it is a very good movie.
Yeah, it was saved in the editing bay, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of, I would have to call it a little bit like a post-apocalyptic rollerball. I don't know if you guys ever.
Anybody remember Solar Babies?
Unfortunately, I remember pieces of it.
I remember hearing about it. I never watched it.
I did, but I was like, it was back before I was even a teenager. So it's like the images are in there. It's post-apocalyptic 80s, definitely, where what I can remember is I think America's economy collapsed and China pretty much owns the world. They became the new superpower. That's the setting I can remember. And it was based around rollerblading.
Yeah, well, before there were rollerblades, even this is
or roller skates, maybe.
Skating. Yeah, this is like the tail end of the disco roller disco craze. And I'm sorry, but roller skates in a desert doesn't work.
Well, no, but I'm saying the concept was kind of like rollerball.
Mm-hmm.
But I also liked rollerball too, the original one, not the second one, not the remake.
I find it interesting that Solar Babies is almost a really strong list of B and C list celebrities of that era, too, and the sort of like you had the Brat Pack, and then you had
kind of like Moving Violations.
I think I've heard of that movie.
Yeah, it was a comedy movie, and the starring role was played by, I'm trying to remember his name. It was Bill Murray's younger brother, I think. If I'm
Moving Violation.
I'm probably remembering that way wrong. It was some famous comedic actor's younger brother in that role.
Yeah,
I think.
because this is 1976, and it has.
No, it's in the 80s.
Yeah,
The Moving Violations I'm thinking of, I'm pretty sure it was in the 80s. Then again, I watched it in the 80s. It could have been from late 70s.
There we go. Found it. Okay, that I recognize that poster. Yeah, John Murray, Jennifer Tilly, Let's see if I recognize any other names here.
Murray.
Fred Willard, Don Cheadle. Wow. And a bunch of, looks like, siblings of bigger names. Wendy Jo Sperber. Yeah, that's...
Oh, and now I remember what I forgot earlier back during our Star Wars Star Trek conversation.
Uh-oh.
I was going to ask if anybody ever read the book Vector Prime.
No.
Negative.
It was the only Star Wars novel I read, and the reason I read it is because it was written by R.A. Salvador.
Vector Prime. When do you remember when that was written?
Early 90s, I think. Maybe mid.
Do you remember about what the story was about?
Yeah, a species of people from outside the galaxy entered, and they were immune to anything they do with the Force. No mind tricks, no trying to use the Force on them directly. It's just they were being from a different place. They were completely devoid of whatever made the Force work on people, and it just didn't affect them.
Was that the Yuzon Vong?
I think so. They all their technology was biologically based instead of mechanical.
Okay, I think I read one of those books and maybe a second one. Star Wars book series was entering a weird period of time at that point, and I just kind of gave up on some of them. But unfortunately, I need to go because I need to go release some software. I might be back.
Release the software.
Release the software.
I'll be back in just a minute. I got to check on something.
All right. Have a good night, Raven. Maybe we'll see you shortly. If not, thanks for coming in and hanging with us.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was the only Star Wars novel I ever read, and it was just because it was written by the guy who actually got me into reading. You know, it was his books that actually got me interested in reading and originally inspired me to write. So when I see that, I'm like, all right, I'll check this one out. And I met him once at a book signing, and I asked him about how he ended up writing Star Wars. And he said one day he got a phone call, and he answered, and then the guy at the other end said, "This is George Lucas. I want you to write a Star Wars novel." And he hung up the phone thinking it was a prank call.
That's good.
Yeah, it's like you hung up on George Lucas and then and you were rewarded by getting to write a Star Wars book. That's kind of badass.
Yeah, I think Lucas didn't have too much of a big ego. He didn't think too highly of himself.
I know. It was just funny to hear that. Like he thought it was a prank call. He's like, "There's no way George Lucas is calling me." You know.
I never read any Star Wars, but I had an audio book on tape when I was younger, like a story about Han Solo, the mission to Ord Mantell, and it was pretty good. Whoops. Sorry.
Was that you, Frederick?
Yes, cat accident.
Bad kitty.
Yeah, he just jumped on my lap and threw everything on the floor, as cats do.
Let's see how is that scene coming out? You've been working. It's got a lot more defining lines now.
Yeah, a lot more ink. I'm going in towards the characters mostly with a brush, and then I'll be going with a fine marker for the details in the background a little bit later.
How long does it usually take you to do a page, or is this like a 2-page splash you're putting together? Or?
Yeah, exactly. This is a 2-pager. This is why it's like folded like this, and it's got tape in the back. And so it's eventually going to get scanned and split into 2 for the printing, but you got to keep it taped together for everything to align perfectly. This is the first time I'm doing a double-page spread, so hopefully everything will work out.
Cool. I can't wait to see the finished product, man.
Thanks, man.
And if you don't mind, maybe I'll end up doing one of my full spoiler coverage videos on it.
Oh, for sure. I'll send you a PDF as soon as I'm there.
Oh, sweet.
And then soon
if you want some time to go by before I do a video on it, let me know so I don't pop it out there too soon.
And soon after, he'll call in a copyright strike.
It depends on how many stars he gives me.
Guilty. What's up, man? The EU was occasionally incredible. Oh, extended universe. Okay. I saw that and I thought it meant European Union. I'm like, what are you talking about?
The European Union was incredible sometimes.
Occasionally incredible.
So incredible that the British wanted out.
Right? That was the brick. That was what the BRICS thing was, right?
Yep, Brexit.
That's a good move by the British, if you ask me.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people didn't want the Brits to leave because it would show that you can do it and be fine, and others might want to leave after that.
Like Germany.
Germany leaves, that all collapses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I was saying to someone before the show started. I'm not sure who I was talking to before we all started, but I was like, I haven't been paying attention to the news so much lately. I've been so busy in my projects that I've barely been paying attention. And when I do go and turn it back on, I'm like, well, this is depressing. I'm going back into my own imagination where shit's actually cool. Thanks.
So where's Billy Bob?
He's off tonight.
He can't be off.
He's always a little off.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, but Mr. Daka well, whatever.
Like how many
Says
vacation
Dr.
days
Mr.
does he have?
Sir and Mr. Doctor Sir.
Mr. Dr. Sa. I got that. So what else should we talk about?
Oh,
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
mentioned earlier that
And France.
with Hollywood in general has lost so much faith that when they put something out that's actually good, nobody goes to see it now.
Yeah, I know.
Because for example, by all accounts, X-Men 97, I mean, it's got the issues here and there and a little bit of what we worried about, but not nearly as much. And by pretty much what everyone's saying, it's pretty damn good. Not perfect, but it's probably the best thing Marvel's put out since Endgame, and nobody's watching it comparison.
Yeah, I want to watch it. I downloaded the first episode. Haven't had time to watch it yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
But it's because they finally put out something we all wanted, but everyone's been burned so much they're not going to check it out now.
F around and find out.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about the fighting in New Caledonia?
I don't know about it.
Oh, is that Caledonia? Is that discussions of California splitting into different states or something? or-
No, that's like one of France's like last like vestiges of empire. I think it's out in the up in like Southeast Asia. I'm not fully certain. I gotta do research on what's going on out there. I've been getting news flashes about it, but yeah, apparently, shit's F down there right now. State of emergency, just not good.
Emily, you're on fire tonight, man.
Yeah, that is true. Good point, Emily.
I heard a thing about why they changed the artwork slightly, and it's because they said that in the first seasons, the original from the actual 90s, they tried to put some of those comic book style lines and definition in there, and then which looked great during the stills, but when trying to get them animated, it was such a pain in the butt, and they tried to simplify it a little bit to make animation work a little better. That's what they said. It sounds kind of plausible, but did they have to shrink the curves?
Yeah, that's not a good move. That's probably I mean, a lot of people think that way nowadays, like self-censorship. Like you see something sexy and you're like, oh, I'll have to tone it down, you know? And it's not even for kids. It's the same thing, is that the target market for this is the people who grew up watching the original shows in the 90s.
And they did things like they pulled straight from Fatal Attractions, where Wolverine went after Magneto, and if you remember in the original seasons, Wolverine would pop his claws, but he only would like slash at like robots or something. He never actually Never actually stabbed a person. Well, in this, he stabbed Magneto, blood and all. It's like, well, it's not on Fox Kids, so they can get away with it now.
Good. About time, like a Canadian drew some blood from a villain.
Well, Deadpool did it.
Is Deadpool Canadian as well?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
I did not know
Not the
that.
character, just the actor.
Oh, just the actor.
Doesn't matter.
Kahuna. They based it off of Cat Marvel.
That's true.
That is kind of a bummer, though. I mean, going off of pure aesthetics, she's a looker. It's too bad she's kind of a little flat in that department.
What,
I
acting?
mean, no, I'm talking about her appearance. I mean,
Oh,
'cause-
well, yeah.
I mean, she doesn't have the charisma apparently, so she needs the looks.
or the personality.
Wall oh yeah. Don't worry, the wall conquers all.
Humility. Oh my
I
god.
don't know. I haven't seen her being bitchy in interviews or anything lately at all. Actually, I haven't seen her in anything at all. But I don't think she's out there running. You know what? The biggest gift to her was Rachel Zegler.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's like, good. They can all focus on her while I just shut up and not say something dumb again. And maybe,
No, she's
Expect
still
to
saying
hang-
she's still
Okay.
saying stupid stuff.
I that's a bummer. I was hoping she kind of learned her lesson and
Nope.
toned down a bit and just
She's
would,
hot. She doesn't.
she
have
would
to
just
learn
be cool.
lessons.
I mean, the most telling, you can dislike an actress and say stuff about her, but the most telling one is when you saw her co-stars kind of cringe and pull back, and like you could feel the dislike between Brie Larson and the other actress.
Yeah,
That's
and
telling.
yeah, and that's another reason. I mean, she's still a human being. I was hoping that could tone down, and she, people need social interaction, and if you piss everybody off around you, that's not good.
Nope. But some people, they just don't learn.
I mean, maybe put her in another movie with Iman Vellani. Maybe some of her charisma will rub off. Actually, better yet, don't.
Okay.
Just give Iman Vellani her own movie and actual good writing to work with.
I don't
But she-
know who that
yeah,
person is.
She's the one who plays what is it, Miss Marvel?
Yep.
Yeah.
I watched the show. I know I've said this many times. The show itself sucked. I didn't like it, but I kept watching because I found her performance on its own to just be engrossing enough to watch the rest. I thought she was a joy on screen. I'm like, imagine if she had good writing to work with. She's a
And
natural on camera.
She actually cares about the character.
Yes,
She's
she
actually
does.
spread-
She made me want to be a Kamala Khan fan,
Yeah.
and nobody cares about Kamala Khan.
The other ones didn't care. Were too busy using it as some sort of surfboard. And no, I'm dead serious. They were using it as some sort of surfboard to fame. When the reality is, I mean, before this, Brie Larson was like a nothing. And as soon as she became Captain Marvel, and she had a quote $1 billion movie, which I doubt that number highly.
Yep.
She turned into an obnoxious ass. And so now nobody likes her. And in a lot of ways, she damaged that entire brand because,
Oh yeah.
they had laid so high a stake, or I don't even know what the word is. They set such a high bar for her that, or they pumped up
The
Captain
sunk
Marvel.
cost was astronomical.
Yeah, and when they pumped up Captain Marvel so much, and it didn't deliver, it just sort of, I think that was the beginning of the end of Marvel. All those Marvel movies. The Spider-Man No Way Home, that was the only bright spot in all of that. Everything else, what they were doing is they were taking original male superheroes and basically replacing them with women.
Well, my female superheroes were created original, so they're not replacing dudes.
No, they're. I mean, they replaced Hawkeye with the. They replaced
Yep.
Hawkeye with the.
I will admit, I liked what's her name, Haley Steinfeld. I liked her character in Hawkeye. I liked their back and forth between the two of them. I like how she would step up like, yeah, I can do anything, and then she gets creamed. It's like, oops, maybe I can't. And Clinton Barton's like, we're gonna put some of that overconfidence of yours to use. Come on, let's go. So their banter back and forth was pretty cool. The show was. It could have been better, but it wasn't horrible. It was kind of. It had its fun moments, but.
I mean,
Just making a female version of every existing male version, it is getting really old really quick. Especially when there's so many cool already existing original female characters they have at their disposal.
Mm-hmm. And so it's just I'm done. You know, I actually was done with Endgame, but when I started seeing some of the comments coming out about the newer stuff. That's when I was just like, okay, I'm done. And I really did. Well, that's another one that they replaced was Black Panther. Black Panther got replaced with a woman.
Yeah, I was all for Shuri becoming the Black Panther eventually. That was the course it took in the comics. That is his younger sister. But in this case, they should have recast. It was too soon.
Yeah, and the other thing is that I did not like the younger sister character. It was just too much. And I think it detracted. It took away from T'Challa himself. And
You mean the way they portrayed her?
yeah, she was. It was. I thought it was over the top. I thought it was too much. So, but whatever.
I don't know. I was out as of the first Avengers, so
Really, I liked the first Avengers.
it was okay. I mean, it was a fun time, but it didn't stick with me. Honestly, if you asked me what the plot line was to it, something about Loki. That's how uninspiring that storyline was.
True.
I mean, okay, I shouldn't say that. I have watched
This is
Thor
coming from the guy
Ragnarok.
who didn't like Firefly.
Yeah, exactly. So take it with the good taste implied by not liking Firefly.
Boncher, you need to stop flaming, okay?
Yeah.
Do you see into the flames?
I am unimpressed.
What started those flames?
Jewish space lasers.
Where's the button?
So
Guilty Gear has as prep.
You are prep. See, does that seem out of character?
The fact that she would write that in the story. There's no way it was that bad without being on purpose.
Which what?
My immortal.
I've
Yeah.
heard it.
It's totally fetch.
Well, guess what, Boncher? There are 4 lovely episodes of myself, Maji, and the Otter being forced against their will to read what is considered the worst, or some say unironically, ironically, the best immortal, a terrible, horrible, awful Harry Potter fanfic. All 4 episodes of Us Suffering is available through the Fubar Digital Lounge. You can go check that out right now after we're done streaming.
I
No,
won't even
that's
watch
okay.
anything Harry Potter, so I will not watch that either.
Valuable lessons from that experience on how to absolutely not write a story.
I can watch bad writing advice for a lot less pain.
I love that channel.
Yeah, but
Still.
if you don't watch the My Immortal stream, you're missing the special cameo by Trippy.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the whole thing, too. Trippy hops in there on the panel out of nowhere. He's like, They're like, help, get us out of here. He's like, nope, I've come to watch you suffer. Not even 1 minute. He's like, I can't take this. And he bolts.
I gave him the link because I'm like, just out of curiosity, what will happen if I brought him into this mess without no background, no prior explanation of what we're doing? I just gave him a link, and yeah, it was worth it.
Wow. Talk about giving a good lesson on not to open strange links you know nothing about. It's like,
Well, he was.
Logan.
I think he knew we were doing something with My Immortal, but he hadn't really heard what it was. So I just dropped him. Like, well, if you're doing anything, if you want to join us, you're free to. And,
That doesn't sound anything like that. Hey, little kid, you want to get in the back of my windowless van? I have candy.
I think they lured Otter in there with clams.
They did. The Mogwai did.
The ultimate Kahuna Towers.
No, he said there's worse Harry Potter fan fiction that is a short story called Tumbling Towers. Guess what they're referencing? Towers. I just,
The Tower of Kahuna.
The Towering Kahuna. Wasn't that a disaster film in the 70s?
The Towering Inferno. Oh, that was a black and white disaster movie. It was a skyscraper caught on fire.
It wasn't black and white. It was color.
It was color. I think it was 1964.
What am I thinking of? I thought I saw it originally in black and white. That might have just been the black and white TV they had. I might have watched it on that.
I think that was one of my worst.
Yeah, Towering Inferno was in color.
Yeah. In the 80s, there were still a lot of just black and white TVs around.
Yes, there were.
Yet another George Kennedy movie.
George Kennedy O.J. Simpson movie.
Really?
And several. Yep, O.J. Simpson was in Towering Inferno. I always get a kick out of watching Fool's Parade, which you can now find on Tubi, which I couldn't find forever, which stars George Kennedy, Jimmy Stewart, and Kurt Russell in the same film.
Anybody remember the computer wore tennis shoes?
Yeah.
Yes. We're old farts.
Yeah, my folks showed me that, and she goes, "Do you recognize the main character?" I'm like, "No." She goes, "That's Kurt." My mom says, "That's Kurt Russell." I'm like, "No."
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Disney back then. Disney used to put out. It was like every Sunday, they had like a Disney hour or something like that.
The Wonderful World of Disney.
Yeah.
And you can sometimes catch a whole hour's worth commercial on their theme parks.
And that's when their theme parks were fun to go to.
God, yes. Until the last
Space
20
Mountain.
years. Until the last 20 years, I would tell people that Disney World was the closest thing that America had for a vacation mecca. That everyone should go at least once in their life to there. I sincerely believed it because the Walt Disney World was absolutely a magical place. And I've been there 5 times. Back in the 80s and 90s, and I think the last time I went was shortly after 9/11. Yeah, there's a setup for you. I went for the 2002 New Year's Eve. It was a birthday wedding present from my parents.
Me and the wife went there for our honeymoon.
Fantastic choice.
Yes, that was fun.
Yep, but we went. Oh, go ahead.
Who's off?
I will be right back.
Oh yeah, I got to go there on the opening year of Epcot when I was a little kid. My parents said I walked around like I was in a daze for like the first 2 hours.
Yeah, I remember that. We went there, I think, the second year after Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our first trip there was not long after they opened, like maybe a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, my parents had a plan set up. Every 5 years, we got to go for a summer vacation, and boy, it really landed. But now just no.
Yeah.
It hurts my heart to see information coming out about the theme parks and knowing all the crap that has happened. I mean, it seriously hurts my heart. I feel utterly betrayed by that company. And that's just dealing with the theme parks.
And they waited till before they destroyed it, they waited till Ray Disney died.
Mm-hmm.
Because he would have never stood for it.
Yep. And then they came guns a-blazing.
Yep. So, and that's really sad because I remember, I remember being a kid and thinking that Walt Disney World was the place. It was like the bomb.
It was. And,
for a little kid, yeah, it was. It was, the Pirates of the Caribbean ride and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride. I mean, they were cheesy rides by today's comparison, but they were still, you were reliving the movie or the cartoon or the, or whatever it was.
You were like something from the movies was transported into you.
Yeah.
Especially as a kid, there's just, it's indescribable. And I know I have friends that they go to Universal Studios, and I'm like, I look at the theme park and go, A, I don't fit on any of those rides because my fat ass can't get into the rides I'd want to be on. And two, I don't care about any of these properties. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. I'm not a Transformers fan. I'm not a fan of Marvel anymore, thanks to those bastards at Disney. And for some reason, Universal still has the rights to the characters over there. It's weird. But, I mean, I sat there going over all the different things, and I'm like, I'm not fans of any of you. There is no magic here for me. And, I mean, I don't care about the cool shows they've got going on in Harry Potter Land or whatever they call that set up. And, I mean, it looks visually impressive, but there's no heart there for me. And it hurts me. It actually does hurt my soul in a small way that I don't have that anymore. That area is gone. That's never going to come back. And
it's like a loss of innocence.
Yes. Yes,
that's exactly. That stuff was innocent fun. I mean, the haunted mansion.
Oh, my favorite ride of all time.
Yeah, the Haunted Mansion. That was just, and when was Space Mountain came out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was so awesome. And
and you'd run it twice in a row fast. You'd get out, you'd finish the one track, and you'd immediately run to the other side and take the other track because it was two roller coasters running simultaneously and zip it around each other. It absolutely is. It was ingenious. And I mean, let's face it, I've gone to Great America, which they have some serious roller coasters. I've seen the pictures of roller coasters at Cedar Point and other places. And Disney roller coasters weren't about that. They were about more of a story experience. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is not about the roller coaster as much as it is about the story surrounding it. And they just do it so damn well, or at least they did.
Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse.
That was the first ride I ever went on there, and it bored me. I mean, it's a walking tour.
Yeah, I know, but I've seen the movie. I saw the movie at the drive-in, and so you got to go in the frickin' treehouse.
I got to see it on the big screen too as a kid. I totally get and love it, but it wasn't that big of a thrill as a ride. And of course, the second ride I went on was what was next door, and that was the Pirates of the Caribbean. And I was like, yes.
And I remember they had plastic models out for some of that stuff, and it's like I always wanted one of those. And it was it was that whole it was entertainment and it was innocent fun.
Yep.
And it's like even like the Main Street USA.
Even though the pirates were rather rapey.
Yeah. But I mean,
but nobody took it seriously.
But you mean you could walk down Main Street USA and it was nostalgic and it was all that. Now all of that stuff is lost. It's like it's lost.
Mm-hmm. And it cheats. I think it cheats the children of America most of all because they could have had this, but you got a bunch of people that their sole goal was to destroy everything.
Yep.
Everything good like that in Disney, to cheapen it and to pervert it as best they can. Yeah, that's pirates, though. A little bit rapey. Guys being left to burn to death in the dungeon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not nice guys. But it was done so well. I mean, hell, you're talking literally Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Why do they get rid of that?
Yeah.
He dies. You die at the end of that and go to hell because you were a bad frog. That was an amazing ride. And it's and all those rides you think about, they tell a morality tale. Don't be this. But that's what Disney used to be. Tell the morality tale. Teach the children good things. Or give them cautionary tales.
I hear the theme music.
As the theme slowly rises in the east.
Wrangler, mute. You're on mute, dude.
Yeah, everybody's been muted up.
I knew that.
And you did, man. I knew I was on mute. I was just
You did.
checking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the ticket.
Gunga Galunga to you too.
Yeah, so we're going to be wrapping this up shortly. Is there anything else anyone wants to cover before we do?
Buy Herman's book.
Yeah, buy my book.
Buy his book.
Buy my book too.
In roughly 2 hours, it will be available. It will be released.
Sweet. You have audio coming out for that one as well?
Yep, all 3.
Yes.
So I'm running ads. I'm running ads all week.
Yeah,
So-
we're even gonna shill for him a little down at Rise Up Con.
Yeah, I got to get that done.
Yeah, reminder.
Herman, if you'd like,
Don't make Mambo cranky or sad.
Yeah.
if you'd like, before we wrap this up, it's less than 2 minutes long. I could play this section on Hall Cedric. It's, it's the only section that was short enough to fit in the StreamYard little video clips. But
All right.
yeah, so here we go. We'll give you a little hint of what Hall Cedric can do and what he is and who he is. Hall Cedric, from the Revenant series by Herman P. Hunter. Throughout the years, much has faded from Hall Cedric's memory, but one thing he could recall for certain was the axe swinging down upon him. And then he died. With the breath of life returned by the Creator himself, Hall Cedric was restored and went forth as a warrior for God. He is often stoic and mission-focused, although he does have a sense of humor, dry it may be, but his buddy Tolvgear can coax a quip out of him from time to time. He's a solid individual, and if you think he looks strong, you're probably still underestimating him. He has superhuman strength, which was demonstrated when he, while seriously injured, lifted his opponent with one arm and threw him across the street. He's also able to move faster than most. And speaking of seriously injured, he has a healing factor. Wounds that would be fatal to most without medical assistance, Hall Cedric just sleeps them off, waking up the next morning perfectly fine. But this does take time. He's not going to go regenerating missing organs during combat or anything crazy like that. And when it comes to his equipment, let's take a look at the item that puts him on this list. That would be his sword. When demonic magic and mystical abominations are near, his sword manifests flames that grow a deeper red as the threat draws closer. Hall Cedric's sword, when in his hands, is devastating to evil forces of this nature, and venom would surely set this thing ablaze. Hall Cedric would have a bit of a struggle dealing with the area around him being drained while dodging mystical attacks. But if he manages to get up close and personal with these guys, that sword of his will ruin the Venom's weekend, along with any future plans of breathing.
I can't believe we found that music.
Yeah, that was from a character list I did. Iron Age characters that could take on a Venom, who are the big bad from the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. And yeah, Hall Cedric's got what it takes to take them down.
Buy my book.
Buy his book. Both his books.
Both.
Wait till
All
tomorrow.
three
You
of
can get them both at the same time. That's right, Wizard Stone. Is it? I know I've asked this before, but what is it? That's set in the same continuity but a different time period?
Yeah, different time period, same continuity.
All right. Well, which is chronologically first, Revenant or Wizard?
Revenant. The Wizard actually approaches more the time frame of an era character that I have. The first book I ever wrote in this world, which is sitting on ice right now, which is Frankie, which was written about a character named Frankie. So and I eventually want to put out. And I was also thinking about writing another book. And
So you have all Cedric, you got 12 Gear, you got Hiro Daini, and you got Frankie,
and there's a whole bunch of other characters there. But I was also thinking on my way home, trying to figure out how to write a good story, but I have a great title for it called The Merithian.
That does sound cool. I have no idea what that is, but that just sounds cool.
And it would be in and around the time of the Wizard Stone.
I still have to read The Wizard Stone. I haven't checked out that one yet.
Get the audiobook. By the way, I have audiobooks.
Yep. I will probably be picking up the Revenant and the Cult audiobook in the next few days here. Because I'm already invested in the characters on that one.
The initial reviews coming back on it, at least from what I've been told, are actually pretty good.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
So buy Evan's book.
Yes, buy my book.
All of the books. All right. Readout.
Normal here right now. Readout Productions, Thursdays live, Uncut History. We're still going through the Overland campaign 160 years after these events happened. So we'll be picking up at the Battle of the North Anna this Thursday for Uncut History. Then Saturday, new episode of History's coming out. And I just want to mention here in the near future, you're going to see I guess we want to call it the secondary channel. I don't like calling it the secondary channel. It acts like I don't care about it. The pop culture channel I had, Heterochromedia Podcast. It has been rebranded now as the Fubar Digital Lounge. And I'm hoping here, once we get to summer and I'm past the abomination that is academia that I endure, once I get through the collage semester, I can start putting work into the Fubar Digital Lounge. So me and my co-host, we have plans for new content that should be coming out just in a few weeks' time.
Awesome. All right. So has the channel name already been changed, or?
Yeah, if you're subscribed to the Heterochromedia Podcast, you'll just have noticed it's flipped to Fubar Digital Lounge.
All right. I got to go back through and make sure I'm still subscribed then, because I was going through, I don't remember subscribing to this channel, and I started removing a bunch.
But this is where I have the link in the private chat. See what I did there?
Yes, I do. And you know what? I think I can put that link in the regular chat.
Yay!
Let me try that shit. There we go. All right, MD.
Yo. Well, lots of stuff happening for me. I've got my new Substack that is up and running. Articles, notes, and other things happening there. I have just released a new song, as I showed earlier, on Bandcamp. I think I'm up to 6 now, and more to come. I figure it'll be another month or 2 before I run out of music. And yeah. I've been doing short stories for submission to anthologies, so those won't come out until later this year. But I've got a few of them up, or at least about to be up. 2 out for sure, and another 2 to come. Plus a new novel project that I got to get started on for submission in August. So crossing my fingers on that. Of course, for more news and everything like that, you can find me at my website at residentmedia.art. Plus, also, I'm on Minds under MD Voncher. You can find me there as well.
I just dropped your Bandcamp link in the chat once more.
Very cool. Why don't I give you this link then as well? Because may as well, right? And sign up for the newsletter for more information and fun stuff as it comes along. As for events, we will be, like I said, 2 weeks from now, we're going to be, not 2 weeks. End of the month, we will be at Rise Up Con in Seaverville, Tennessee, which is near Gatlinburg. And that's Kevin Sorbo's new Faith and Fandom Con that they're starting up. And
nice.
The second and fourth weeks of the Sorry, what am I saying? Of the West Virginia Renaissance Festival. We'll be vending there. Bambo's got a ton of stuffies that she's been making. Instead of wooden toys, this time she went to stuffies. And she's got frogs and bats, and she's going to see about getting possums next, because that's a West Virginia thing around here, fire-breathing possums.
I get possums walking along my patio all the time. I go out for a cigarette. They come walking by. They're just used to me now. They're like, "Oh, it's you," and they keep going.
Yeah. So let's see. And then we will be towards the end of June. The third week of June is LibertyCon for us, which I am a guest panelist. That will be down there, but that's more of a networking con. Only had 1,000 tickets, and that sold out in 4 hours. So if you're not going, you're not going. Otherwise, I'll see you there if you got the tickets. That should be a lot of fun.
All right.
Yeah. Otherwise, the next big event I'm going to be at publicly is going to be Big Lick Con, first weekend of August in Roanoke, Virginia. So we'll be there as well. Come there instead of Gen Con. It's cheaper. It's fun. People are nice.
All right, Frederick Guillemon.
imakecomics.com will take you to the website. It's just a landing page for now, but I'm working on pushing the new site next week, I think. Pretty close. Like, it's about to come out. I just need to add a little bit of content, and it'll be out there. So, yeah, and I'm still working on the comics, so it's coming along shortly. And I've got a special page on the website that's coming that is a progress page, where you basically see a progress bar for all the different steps in the making of the comic. So you'll be able to follow day to day, week to week, the progress that's being made in, on the webs on the comic book.
Excellent. And Herman P. Hunter, the Lore Forge.
Oh, didn't we just do me? Well,
that sounded very wrong. Yeah.
Yes. The
Right.
Revenant and the Cult appears tomorrow, and it's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Apple, Kobo, pretty much anywhere you can buy books or audiobooks. Comes in ebook, paperback, and an audiobook. And thus far, the initial reviews on it have been pretty darn good.
Well, that link did not come out quite right. Let me try that again. Let me try the other.
Woof.
Yeah. There we go. That fits in the chat box so much better. Okay. And then... Oh, wait, I should probably try and get my own crap up here, right?
Yeah. Yes, you should. Or we could just talk about me.
Let's sing that Toby Keith song. All right, Haley Star, Bad Kitty, a magic-fueled sci-fi adventure, and the follow-up, Bad Kitty, Haley's World. And, yeah, this was a lot of fun. As usual, I could sit here and yap, and then as soon as I try and talk about my own stuff, I get all tongue-tied. But yeah, this was a really good time. I think you guys will have a lot of fun with Haley and Elizabeth as they go through their adventures, learn how their powers work, and learn how to deal with some really oddball problems kind of coming into their lives. So go ahead, check it out. It's a grand old time. If you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like, and if you didn't, I appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next time. God bless. That's where I should have had the music queued up already. There we go.
Jewish space laser.
Have a great night, everybody. Thanks, everyone, for stopping in the chat.